Hey, what's going on? This is Thomas Galdenzi with Combat Sports Coverage. And on this edition, we'll be interviewing UFC fighter Eric, ya boy Anders, over his upcoming UFC fight versus knockout artist Khalil Roundtree on a stacked UFC pay-per-view, UFC 236, which will be featuring two UFC title fights. So Eric, tell me how your training camp is going so far. About 2 weeks out from this huge fight versus knockout artist Khalil Roundtree.
Man, it's going really well. I've been training up here in Colorado with Factory X with Mark Montoya, my coach Chris Conley's up here, and man, just getting better, sharpening the skills, and ready to get in there here in a few days.
Is that a new training camp for you for training at Mark Montoya's camp with him?
Yeah, I've been up here for about a month or so now. So originally this fight was offered for the card in Nashville, but I told him I want a full camp for a light heavyweight fight, and it was right at the time I was making the transition. So I wanted a full camp to kind of get ready for a guy like Roundtree.
And so tell me about that. All your UFC fights are at 185 pounds. And so now for this fight, you'll be moving up to 205. And so how is the difference? Like, what is making you want to move up in weight class?
Man, I'm down to fight, pretty much anybody. So, this is just the first fight that they offered me. It's been, my last fight was in December, so it's going on 4 months that I haven't fought. So, I was just anxious and chomping at the bit to get back in the octagon.
And then how much weight do you cut to make 205? Is it going to be a hard cut or no, not really?
No, not really, just because I'm so used to going to 185. I'm about, in that 225, 230 range. So getting down to 205 is not going to be a problem at all.
And tell me, how do you see this fight playing out next Saturday night, April 13th, versus Khalil Roundtree? Do you see yourself winning by KO, TKO, submission, or is this going to be an all-out war?
Man, I think it's definitely going to be an all-out war, but I don't see this fight going to a decision. Either he's going to get me or I'm going to get him. I'm very quite confident in my ability to go out there and get my hand raised and get a finish. I think that I got more ways to win the fight. I think that he's got one way to win. So, especially the longer the fight goes, the more it's going to go in my favor. So, definitely think that I'm going to walk out of there with my hand raised.
Yeah, I definitely agree on that. I feel like you both can bang. You obviously have 7 knockouts, TKOs on your record out of 11 wins. And he also has many knockouts. But I do believe you're going to be the more well-rounded fighter in this fight. And then tell me, what is your main game plan? Are you looking to take him down, or are you mainly just looking to bang it out with him, or just mix it up?
Man, I really don't have a game plan. I would imagine that we're going to meet in the middle, touch gloves, and get right to it. He's a fast starter. So, the fight's going to happen. We're going to start out on the feet and see what happens from there.
And then in your last fight, it was a split decision loss to top-ranked Elias Theodora, which I personally thought you won that split decision. But looking back on that fight, do you see any positives in that fight that's going to help you moving forward in this fight?
Man, there's good and bad to take away from every fight. I did some good things. There were some things I could have done better to not have it so close, So I think the output is the biggest issue. So that's something that we've definitely been working on is, not every punch or strike's got to be a knockout shot. You can touch them, you can pepper them, you can set stuff up with your other strikes. So, definitely more output and, being more precise and have better precision with my strikes.
And do you see this fight, since this fight is at 205 pounds, do you think it will help you with all that, with with your cardio, with a little bit more power and everything?
Man, I don't think the only fight that my cardio has ever been an issue was the Thiago Santos fight, and that was, just because that was 6 days' notice. So, my cardio is always tip top. I do think that I'll be able to utilize my athleticism more at 205 than middleweight. So, it's fun. I'm anxious to get in there after a full camp. I feel good. I feel great at this weight. So, the weight cut's the only thing that I really hate about this game. So I really don't even have to do that. So, it makes it more fun.
Yeah, I think it'll be better for you too. Also, I mean, you are a big guy. You're really lean too for your size. So I think 205 is gonna be a great weight class for you. And what is the biggest difference from you from being a high level football player and now also being a high-level mixed martial arts fighters. What is the biggest difference in those sports, would you say?
Man, they're both 360-degree sports, up, down, left, right, angles. I would say the biggest difference is you're not pushing, you're more square in football and pushing, and you need all those muscles and strength and stuff. This is more, angles, and especially me playing linebacker, everything was straightforward and straight back. There was very little, like drop stepping or anything like that you use in fighting. So, maybe if I played like corner, receiver, or safety, there'd be more similarities. But I just don't feel like there's a whole lot of similarities between the two. One thing that I think the football has helped me with the most is, my whole life I've been working to be as quick, fast, and as strong as possible. So that's where the translation comes in. Not necessarily in the movement, but in just body awareness and where your body can move in general.
So it also like sounds more like kind of like a mental. You have that great mindset where you're going to keep working hard and pushing hard to be the greatest. And I guess you brought that aspect from football also over to MMA.
Yeah, absolutely. In football, there's competition, at your position, especially at a school like Alabama. If you have a bad practice, a bad week, a bad game, the guy behind you is just as good. So, the guy who played behind me at Bama turned out to be an all-pro, for the Baltimore Ravens. So, constant push, so you're constantly having to outwork not just him, but yourself. And, I think that's led to the success that I've had in the sport, is just trying to outwork everybody.
And tell me, which one would you say you got more injured in? Would it be in football or would it be in mixed martial arts?
I would say, I was just in constant agony playing football. I was always sore, always bruised and beat up and stuff. But, I fought 4 times last year and had 3 surgeries. So, it kind of goes, back and forth a little bit.
And then, so tell me, one of your former opponents, Thiago Santos, is about to fight what many people call the best fighter in the world, Jon Jones, in a title fight, July 6th. Who do you see winning that fight and why?
I would love for Thiago to win that fight. He's a wild card. He hits hard. He throws crazy kicks and stuff. But, man, nobody's been able to figure out Jon Jones. I think the only person to win a round against Jon Jones was Machida, and then he got choked unconscious. I think Thiago's biggest hole in his game is one of the things that Jon Jones does best, and that's wrestling. I think I was 6 for 8 for takedowns against Thiago, and Jon Jones is a NAIA or JUCO national champ. So, I think that's where the fight's going to take place. Thiago's going to be on his back, and Jon Jones. Like I said, I'd love for Thiago to win, but man, Jon Jones, he's tough, man. And he's got a lot of heart, so it's going to be tough to beat that guy.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of would like to see Santos win by knockout, but I think Jones is going to be too well-rounded for him. And then looking back at your amazing 11-3 career, and with 8 of those wins coming by finish, what is your most memorable moment in MMA? Is it your win? Is it winning your LFC title, or is it your main event fight versus Lyoto Machida, or is it your epic head kick KO of Tim Williams?
Man, it's really hard to put one over the other. I think my funnest fight was Thiago Santos, regardless of the outcome. It was fun to get in there with somebody who wasn't running around in circles and wanted to bang, and had some success from that fight. But I think the most memorable moment was my debut in knocking out Rafael Natal.
Yeah, that was a great fight. Everyone definitely needs to check out that one. That was a great debut. It definitely put you on the scene, in the UFC scene. And then also on the fight card, we will see 2 title fights: Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier, and Calvin Gastelum versus Israel Adesanya. They're on the same fight card as you. They're your main events. And I was just wondering, who do you see winning those fights?
Man, I think that Israel Adesanya utilizes space and distance probably better than anybody in the division. And he's got much longer reach, and his defensive wrestling is really good. So I think Israel Adesanya takes that fight and probably finishes Calvin Gastelum. And for some, I think Dustin Poirier's got a chip on his shoulder, and those are the guys that are difficult to beat, who just feel like they have something to prove. And he's been in this game for a long time. He's looked phenomenal at 155, and he's already got a win over Max Holloway, so that makes his confidence go up even more. So I think that Dustin Poirier goes out there and beats Max Holloway. Yeah,
I cannot wait for those fights. They're going to be great main event fights. Will you be staying around to watch those fights?
Oh, absolutely. I probably, those are the last two fights. I'm like, we're the co-main. So, I probably won't get to see it like from the cage, but I'll be in the back doing the medical stuff and interviews and stuff. So I'll definitely be checking that out on the screen.
And then, when do you plan on getting into Atlanta?
I get in Atlanta Tuesday the 9th, I think. The 8th or the 9th.
Nice. Have you ever been to Atlanta before?
Oh, yeah. I live in Birmingham, so it's right down the street. It's only like a 2.5 hour drive. So, yeah, I've been to Atlanta plenty.
Awesome. And then do you have any special shout-outs or any sponsors you want to thank?
Special shout-out to Infinite CBD and Rep Gear for keeping things going during training camp.
Awesome. Yeah, CBD, it seems to be a big thing right now, and martial arts seems to be helping everybody out. A lot of people don't seem to be taking ibuprofen and pain pills, so that CBD oils and creams and droplets seem to be doing a lot, and they definitely should check out your sponsors. And then everyone needs to tune in and make sure to check out this epic fight between two knockout artists, April 13th at UFC 236 in Atlanta. And thank you again, Eric, for coming on the show and giving me some of your time, and I cannot wait for your fight, and I definitely wish you best of luck.
Hey, appreciate you for having me, brother.